Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tokyo Talk. I'm Mai, and today we're exploring the word unhook.
And I'm Jack. Unhook is such a practical word with some interesting uses. Ready to dive into it, Mai?
Definitely. At its most basic, unhook means to detach something that was previously hooked or fastened. What's a common example you can think of, Jack?
I'd say the most common is probably unhooking clothing, like a bra clasp or a dress hook. Or when I go fishing, I need to unhook the fish before releasing it back to water.
Those are perfect examples. When Jack mentioned clasp, he's referring to a device that fastens things together. Have you used unhook in other contexts, Jack?
Actually, yes. In tech, we talk about unhooking components or connections. And metaphorically, I've been trying to unhook myself from constantly checking social media. Do you have any habits you're trying to unhook from, Mai?
That's an interesting question. I've been working on unhooking from perfectionism in my jazz performances. Sometimes being too attached to perfection can limit improvisation. This emotional aspect of unhooking is fascinating.
I love that example. When we unhook emotionally, we're detaching from something that's holding us back. Like when traveling, I need to unhook from my usual routines to truly experience a new culture.
That's a great point. How would you say unhook differs from similar words like detach or disconnect? There are subtle differences worth exploring.
I'd say detach is more general. You can detach things that were never hooked together. Unhook specifically implies there was a hook or hook-like connection that you're now separating.
Excellent distinction. And how about disconnect? When Jack used disconnect, he was referring to breaking a connection between two things. How does that compare to unhook?
Disconnect often implies an electrical or technical connection. If I disconnect my computer from Wi-Fi, that's different from unhooking a necklace. Unhook tends to involve a physical hook or clasp mechanism.
What about release? That's another word that might seem similar to unhook. How would you differentiate them?
Release focuses on freedom or letting go, while unhook emphasizes the specific connection point being undone. I could release a balloon by simply letting go, but unhooking requires a more deliberate action at a specific point.
And what about disengage? That's more formal and technical, isn't it? I often hear it in business contexts, like disengaging from a project or negotiation.
Absolutely. Disengage often refers to mechanical systems or formal relationships. When I disengage gears in a car, it's a technical process. Unhook feels more tangible and everyday. Speaking of which, how's your search for Mr. Right going?
Very smooth transition there, Jack. I'm actually trying to unhook from dating apps these days. I find meeting people through jazz performances more authentic. Let's get back to our word. How would you use unhook in everyday conversation?
In everyday speech, I might say, "Could you unhook this necklace for me?" Or, "I need to unhook the garden hose." It's very practical. In AI research, we sometimes talk about unhooking systems from old protocols or dependencies.
That's a good range of examples. What about fishing? I think that's a context where unhook is quite specific and can't really be replaced by synonyms, right?
Exactly. In fishing, you specifically unhook a fish. You wouldn't say detach or disengage a fish. It's about removing the hook from the fish's mouth carefully. The context really determines which word works best.
Let's review some of the key points about unhook. It literally means to detach something that was fastened with a hook or hook-like mechanism.
And metaphorically, we can unhook ourselves from harmful habits or dependencies. The idea of emotional unhooking is particularly powerful.
Unhook differs from detach because it specifically implies there was a hook-like connection. And it differs from disconnect, which often refers to technical or electrical connections.
Unhook is more specific than release and more tangible than disengage. In fishing contexts, it's the only appropriate term to use when removing a hook from a fish.
Thanks for exploring Unhook with us today. I hope this discussion helps you use it correctly in your English conversations. In my jazz improvisation, learning to unhook from rigid patterns has been transformative.
And remember, sometimes unhooking, whether it's from a physical clasp or an emotional attachment, can be the first step to new freedom. See you next time on Tokyo Talk.